Ladies and gentlemen, how's everybody doing? Hopefully you can hear me. Everything should be good on the audio side, and we are live. That's how we do it. Got a lot to cover today. It's an exciting one. Okay, bear with me. I actually should probably plug this in. I'm a tad late, I think. Let me see some names in the chat. Who's all watching? Any regulars today? Any chatters in the chat? Let me just get this plugged in. And then we will be A-okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so today we are doing another episode of the Fintech Frenzy podcast. George, good to see you. David, hello, hello. I'm actually going to take this out. I'm going to do it without. I don't know why, but my second monitor has been glitching out lately. It doesn't want to come on, but that is okay. That being said, first off, let's talk a little bit about some SoFi. Why don't we just jump right into it? Because we got 5 separate topics to be talking about. We're talking about Marqeta, SoFi, Bank of America, a little bit of Shopify as well, and then Affirm. So starting off with SoFi, all right? Everyone thought that this was quite interesting. So did I. Okay. Can we all see that? Perfect. Okay. So, not zoomed in so much. A bunch of clients that have SoFi credit card actually received this email. We're reaching out to you today regarding an important update to your SoFi credit card account. On August 30th, the issuing bank of SoFi credit card account will change from the Bank of Missouri to SoFi Bank. We'll be updating the cardholder agreements, yada, yada, yada. But let's talk about why this is so important. Okay? Anyone understand how this works? So, essentially, there's a whole bunch of pieces that go into this puzzle, okay? But essentially what the actual issuing bank was doing, at least for the Bank of Missouri, is that they were actually doing the authorization for the cards, making sure that everything's correct, taking on the applications, everything like this. And then they were also doing the actual issuing of the card to the card holder, the physical card in their presence. So this was also a case that their debit card as well a couple months ago was also owned by a different carrier as well. That has since transferred over. So SoFi now issues their own card for both their debit and their credit cards. This is going to save on fees because whatever fees that we're getting or whatever fees that we were having to pay out for Bank of Missouri, they're obviously not doing that for free. We can then keep for ourselves. It's a perfectly good business model and help save on costs. The exciting part about this, because people shouldn't just get excited just about, us issuing our own cards. We don't even have that many cards. We're talking about like 200,000 new cards, roughly issuing about 10,000 to 20,000 per quarter. That's perfectly fine. The exciting part is that we could also take this same system, the system where we're offering our supporting bank and offering our Galileo services to clients like Chime or Robinhood or, Revolut, for example. We can offer those clients the ability to actually issue those cards now, which means that we can turn, which was once a business model for businesses like, Stride Bank or Bank of Missouri or, the U.S. Bancorp Bank. Those businesses were all about being sponsoring banks, hosting money, hosting deposits, and card issuing. That is now its own business line that SoFi could get into. Doug, Tanner, that was a great comparison video on Cash App, SoFi, and Nubank. Thank you for that. Yeah, that video is getting no love. So after this live, I really implore all you guys to go see that video because it's quite interesting. A little bit statistic heavy in some of the areas, and I tried to break it down with some charts and visuals. So I'm going to take all you guys and tell you to go watch that after this. But there's still a lot of exciting things. So sticking onto SoFi just really quickly, I do believe that is a bigger deal than people think. Now, I wanted to clarify some confusion as well, as some people brought up the idea that this somehow negates the idea that we don't need a credit card company or system the way that Marqeta did or the way that Robinhood just bought a credit card company. No, this is not the same function at all. They are completely separate businesses. So actually being the account creator, risk manager, transaction authorization side of the actual business for credit cards, that's not what this actual card issuing is, okay? It's about actually getting the physical cards out there and making it legally binding to that person's name. You're the issuer of the card, okay? Different system. The actual risk management and stuff like this is a completely different system. So we still need to get into that for Galileo. Then we would like legitimately be fully vertically integrated on checking or on credit cards. And it's super important because that's a very high margin business, very, very high margin business. If you guys have been around for a while listening to the channel, you guys know I am very much into the credit card side of SoFi's business. It's absolutely massive. Credit cards print like crazy. I mean, I'm a big fan of Amex. Okay. That being said, let me go on to the next part here. If anyone has any questions, actually, let me just vet that really quick. The reason how I was so able to see Doug's, by the way, is Doug understands me. He puts Tanner all in bold right at the start. You guys want to get my attention? Instantly do that because I'll read your question much faster. No metal cards? No thanks. Virtual cards, my babies. That's all I do. That's all. Well, actually, that's not true. I've got a bunch of physical cards too, but I rarely use them. Most of the time, I'm just tapping from my phone anyway. Will FedNow hurt PayPal? To a degree, but not to a degree that I think will change much. I did do a full video on PayPal very recently. If you go through my lives, there was one where I updated my full thoughts on PayPal. This was really exciting, guys. And exciting in a good and a bad way, okay? Exciting because a competitor stepped out of their realm and tried to do something that they weren't supposed to, and I like them getting a little hurt. So Bank of America to pay $150 million in fines for bad consumer practices. Now, this is actually a lying headline. It's quite false. It's actually $250 million. They paid $150 million in fines, and then they had to pay back another $100 million to the affected customers. So it was $250 million, $250 million that, yeah, there it is. Cough up about $250 billion, $90 billion to the CFPB, and then $60 billion to the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. So 1 second, I got my gallon jug of water. I don't know if it's a gallon, but gotta stay hydrated, my friends. Okay. But let's go into the dirty details. Okay. Just going through really quick because we do have a bunch of different other articles that I want to go through today. They were charging the same fee multiple times. Normally, when someone overdrafts on their bank account, they're hit with a fee for insufficient funds. If a merchant tries to collect payments, in Bank of America's case, that fee was $35, which is similar to what other institutions charge. The problem is the CFPB investigation found that Bank of America was charging the fee over and over again for the same transaction. They were not honoring credit card rewards and bonuses, and just skipping along as well, opening accounts without customer permission. Using customer data is in any way without the authorization, such as automatically opening up a new account in that person's name is an infringement of consumer rights. Awesome. Yeah, so that's how these banks are sort of, playing with your money. If you're at Bank of America, that's how you guys get treated. So then they can sort of pump up shareholder equity, right? They continuously get hit with these very fraudulent fees over and over again, right? They continue to make these mistakes, and for good reasons, they're getting fined like huge amounts. So it actually goes to really not benefit them at all for having these multiple transactions, everything like this, trying to pull these shady practices, because obviously, and you could say, oh, well, you know what, this might not have been by design, right? The multiple transactions could have been a mistake, sure. Opening up people's accounts without any sort of permission is 100% just like sheer fraudulent, not even just ignorance. Like that is, you did that knowing that the customer did not have any permissions there. So that's who you, if anyone banks with Bank of America in this chat and you guys are using your phones, tablets, whatever to already do all your banking and you're not considering SoFi or any of the likes of those other players, good on you. But you know, they don't have your best interest at heart, just so you're aware. That being said, let's talk about a little bit of Shopify, because I thought this was quite cool. Shopify is my biggest position, I think, right now. Nvidia has been going up quite steadily, so that might have taken the lead. And I've been thinking about my Shopify, but not sure. I love this company, but Brad Freeman's making me think that, you know, potentially I'm a little head over heels for this stock. But it's stuff like this that just gets me so excited. So Roku, being the #1 top streaming platform or TV streaming for US, Canada, and Mexico, is also adding Shopify onto their list as part of their Roku Action ads. Okay. You can actually buy buy whatever products are being presented through this Roku system directly through the Roku Pay payment platform that they've created. So this allows one step further to shorten the advertising funnel from brand awareness to purchase on the largest screen in the home, Roku noted. I mean, yeah, it's quite exciting. It's very cool that they're able to do this. Shopify gets closer and closer to the consumer without many of those breaks between actual purchasability and whenever the client finds out that they actually want that product, right? You can even go on places like YouTube, like we all are now, and find that Shopify is actually in the shopping section of the actual YouTube app, as well as actually being also integrated through YouTube Shorts as well. And they're also talking about strongly working on more shopping features, and they plan on not dropping Shopify either. So that's all through Shopify. TikTok is all through Shopify. Facebook, a lot of that is also through Shopify. Google, JD.com, a lot of these big shopping apps too also do a lot of their international business all through Shopify. Whenever the biggest tech companies in the world can't compete with a tech company, you know that they have something special. So once again, Roku going direct to source, very exciting. I'm not a Roku holder. I never understood that business model. But Kathy Wood does, right? And maybe there's something there, but I don't mind using their big audience to fund my big stock. So yeah. Let me go on to the next piece of news. Anything in the bright and early here from Thailand, 642. Thank you for being here, my friend. Tanner, I'm convinced a buddy of mine to switch from Wells Fargo to SoFi literally today. He's a bigwig at Tyson. Cool, my friend. That's awesome. Awesome. Wells Fargo did some bad stuff years ago. Yeah, I mean, all the big banks do, because they're trying to get ahead and they're not doing that honestly. So, hey. Okay. Next up on the news, Affirm holding stock advances as Dan Dolev from Mizuho. Dan Dolev is the actual guy that does this anyway. So he was breaking down that their Debit Plus card, which is actually done by Marqeta. There will be more news about Marqeta later on, but this card is actually dealing with Marqeta as well. And what they said is that this card is actually, based on, I think, from Google searches, there it is. Google searches is reminiscent of the buzz that he saw engulfed in Square's Cash App in the early days of 2017. Dan Dolev's model suggested that if Debit Plus, a hybrid buy now, pay later debit card, follows Cash App's trajectory, it may boost Affirm's medium-term volume compounded annual growth rates from mid-20s to mid-30s. That's absolutely massive. It's making me want to do more research into Affirm, and so maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do a stocks showcase on one of the episodes later on this week. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys want to hear more about Affirm? Let me know. One thing Wells Fargo did was open new accounts for its customers without customer knowledge. Yeah, I heard a lot of them do that. And in fact, they even incentivized advisors to go out and open accounts, and then that's how they were getting paid. So they weren't caring about if they were actually being funded or whatever they were doing. They were just making sure that new accounts were being opened, which is like super weird. I think there was even some people who had passed away and stuff like this. Tell me if that's correct, Gary, or if that's ringing a bell. That it was a bunch of people that like potentially, weren't even real. Yeah, some people need to be in, or some people need to go to jail. Sorry, I thought you said some of the people were in jail, which also is probably the case as well. They're just like signing people up that can't stop any of the actions that happen at their bank. That's funny. But speaking of Affirm and Block and all of these companies, I did want to mention Marqeta. So Marqeta is the actual payment processor. They do a lot of the extra additional services like risk management and fraud detection, these sorts of things, allowing for a single dashboard to have all of your payments come through this one place, so you can track individual clients, total sectors, regions, geographies, whatever you want. Quite customizable. And so what Marqeta is doing is that, they've gone after a whole bunch of the fintech style businesses here in America, right? They are the actual payment processor for Square, Cash App, whatever, for Affirm, like we spoke about, for Coinbase, for Uber, for Lyft, all of these big tech companies. But that's in America, right? So what they've just recently done, and this was today they actually put out this news, is that, let me bring this up so I can share my screen. They've recently expanded globally. Where do we all think? Where do we think? Huh? Who could have guessed it? Marqeta announces expansion into Brazil with a new partnership with Fitbank. Quite exciting, eh? Everyone's going into Latin America. Every single person, or every business. Guys, when I tell you that I'm paying attention to Latin America, please pay attention as well, okay? Marqeta moves into Brazil, which will allow its current global customers to expand more easily and rapidly into evolving fintech hotspots, which also is opening up access to its modern card issuing platform to local Brazilian fintechs and payment innovators. So what does that mean instantly whenever we think that? I think of Cash App going south, okay, allowing for cross-border payments, which would increase average revenue per user, these sorts of things. I only buy American companies. I think that's a silly thing to say, but even Warren Buffett, that says don't bet against America, is investor in a lot of the Latin American companies and international companies as well. So that being said, or even invest if you want to take, I think you do take a little bit of exposure through SoFi. They're going to see some growth there. They already are in Latin America. Like Galileo has been in there before Marqeta has even gotten in there, which is important. And it's only still one country in Latin America, only Brazil, even though it's the biggest one whenever it comes to fintechs. And like I was bringing up this slide earlier. I thought this was so cool. Where is it? I think it's this one, where the fintech startups in Latin America from 2017 to 2021 have went from 700 to almost 2,500 different fintech startups. So and this is only in 2021, not even 2023. So the amount of growth that's trying to happen, not just in Brazil, but however, Brazil makes up the largest part of this, 31%, but also all these other ones. It's such ripe for disruption right now, and consumers are really, really wanting this type of new product. So people are trying to bring digital accounts, digital lending, digital everything, right? Bring it into their smartphones because it's easier to get to their smartphone than it is to get to some rural branch that is, potentially miles away from your home, and access to that branch is maybe not as easy as people think it is. So, but still, people are making money there and they got to store it. the middle class family is growing fastest in Latin America than it ever has. So people need places to store that money. Tanner, what do you think is better, Nubank or Marqeta? Nubank. I think, guys, I can't say this enough. I think that Nubank is one of the most special companies like that I've ever reviewed ever of all time. It's getting scary. Like I'm blown away by the growth. And no matter whether I'm looking at this, like it's a 10-year-old company with like what I think could be potentially like by 2024, they have 100 million users. It's insane for digital banking, for direct deposit, for lending, for insurance, for credit cards, for everything. Yeah. Yeah. That being said, so Marqeta is exciting. I like the company. I'm not invested though. Their ability to turn profitable isn't quite set in stone for me. I don't like they can be an amazing business, an amazing tool for a lot of businesses, but as a stock that actually distributes back to shareholders, I just don't see it yet. It doesn't seem to be like they're printing a lot of money for themselves. They're printing a lot of money for a lot of companies. Like they're very helpful for Cash App and Coinbase and these sorts of things. Debit Plus through Affirm. These are amazing services. The ability to allow Affirm customers, Coinbase customers, Cash App, these sorts of things to go south will be really, really big. That is very interesting. Okay. So quite excited about that. Quite excited about Block in that case too, if they actually have sort of an easier way to go south now. They could just go to Galileo and have all those services. Galileo already is in Brazil. But that being said, I just think that it's quite exciting. But tell me what you guys think. Like, I mean, this is a very, very exciting time in fintech. I think like every single day that I check up on my fintech portfolio that I'm building for this channel, it's seemingly like the account's up 3 or 4% every single day when the SPY is up 0.25 to maybe 1%. Like there's very few days, and it is just a higher beta stock, which means that whenever it is down, it's down much more than the SPY. Or I'm using too many bad terms. Whenever I say SPY, I mean the S&P 500, the American index. But like the growth rates lately for fintech have just been crazy. I think it's such a big niche, and the willingness for consumers to switch over now is higher than ever. So it was really, really high in 2021 when all these fintechs were coming in, and then VCs pulled out their money, but the rate in which people are switching are not changing at all. So how do we, how do you wrap your head around that? Josh, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it. I actually think I just saw your portfolio review or something along this line on Twitter. Did you just post your portfolio on Twitter? I don't want to say it out loud if that's not the case, but I think I saw a pretty sizable portfolio on Twitter. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah. So just going back to it, like I can't stop loving on fintech lately, my friends. I've got some really interesting people that I'm going to be talking with on Thursday and Friday, Friday, Saturday, I think. Large creators, large investors, talking to that chief research officer over at Cornerstone Advisors. So he saw my video. He's willing to talk. So that's exciting. So he'll give us a little bit more insight on the information that he found on SoFi. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be quite exciting. Like legitimately, he was the person that found that SoFi was outgrowing accounts faster than Wells Fargo, which is so funny because I'm seeing all these people switch from Wells Fargo to SoFi. And now they're actually, creating more new accounts per year than Wells Fargo. You know what I mean? Like how does that trend continue? And it's not that those rates will continue like this. If it was at 1% and Wells Fargo was at 8%, if anyone remembers this article, SoFi was at 1% of new accounts created. Wells Fargo was at 8.1%. And then I think it was SoFi's now at like 4% and Wells Fargo is at 3.5%. That's not going to stop. That's going to go to 8-1 and then for 12 and whatever. It's going to continue to climb. It's very exciting. And it doesn't mean that the bank charters are any easier to get now than they ever were last year or anything like this. So SoFi's moat kind of gets really solidified as being a very trusted bank here in America, allowed to do services that JPM is able to do. And all of these things that people are saying that large banks are protected from the Cash Apps and the PayPals and everything like this. And to an extent they are, but they're not protected from SoFi. SoFi can continue to, innovate and disrupt the products that those businesses are in because they have the same licenses. David, thank you so much, my friend. Yeah, Josh was so if you posted it publicly, then I'm just going to say it because it's public. Josh posted his $2 million SoFi portfolio, so that was quite cool. Very exciting to see. A lot of conviction here, but don't just be getting your DD from me, because if it all goes south, I'm going to feel bad. Do your own research. Thank you guys for your contributions, though. David, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, as always. David's probably my largest supporter on the channel. And Josh, yeah, Josh has been watching for a long time, so really do appreciate you guys. Did you close on your house? If you're talking to me, my friend, no, not yet. It is at the end of August, or at the end of August is whenever it's actually going to go through. Tanner, any news on tomorrow's CPI, or if this will be good news for SoFi? No, I haven't read anything. I heard that there was potentially a leak, so maybe you guys should look into that. But I didn't have time to. I read that like 10 minutes before going live, and I was just setting up my camera and everything. So, you guys come first, all right? That being said, so just to go over a quick review of everything that we covered today, just because there's a lot more people in right now than there was before. SoFi will be issuing their own credit cards now. Very exciting, okay? They'll be able to, actually send their card holders their own cards, like physically printing those cards and sending them out. They're doing that for their debit card already. It must obviously have really saved them fees to now transfer over their credit card services as well. This also, cuts back on the fees that they were accepting from Bank of Missouri. Really, really cool. The more important part, and the reason why I'm excited, is that they could do that for all of Galileo's, clients, for example. Those clients not just need Galileo for payment processing, but they need a bank to actually store the money in and also do the card issuing for debit cards, for credit cards, all these different things. SoFi is now establishing themselves as SoFi Bank will be able to take deposits. They'll be able to do the card issuing. We have experience dealing in our own bank, do like Robinhood Cash Card could be the first big opportunity. I'm a big believer that Robinhood is a user of Galileo, not just for their payment processing, but also for Technis's core banking solutions. So they just recently came out, Robinhood, and said that they are now fully cloud native or whatever, or working towards that. And that was right after the purchase of Technisys. I wonder how that timing works, eh? And they have a very close relationship with Galileo. So I'm a big believer in that. And then, they could even further that bundling, right? It's very similar to like Microsoft. Let's talk about the AWS or Amazon. Let's talk about the AWS of Fintech, right? That idea of a neobank coming to us, storing their money with SoFi, getting their cards issued out to their customers by SoFi. All the payments through those cards are by SoFi. And we'll give you a price that's unmatched to any of the other Marketas or anything like this, because we bundle all three of them together. Right. And it's not that we're going to give all three of these services for what's cheaper than Marketa, but Marketa might be working with a bank like Evolve Bank. They work with this company all the time. But Evolve also wants their profit margin. And then Marketa wants their profit margin. And then, all these different solutions that they need, whether it's for risk management or credit card solutions or whatever, all these companies are going to want their little cut. But whenever you're able to put that all together and just deal with SoFi, they're able to cut corners in certain edges and give you bundling deals if you're going to do all your business with that one service. Quite exciting. That being said, Yeah. So Mike, I'm really interested to know because I'm not picking on you, but you're the only person that said that you want a SoFi credit card. Not in the world. It's like one of our fastest growing products. So um, but for me, I have a bunch of credit cards. I've never once looked at the APR, meaning the interest rate that you're going to pay out on the balance that you have on your credit card. Right? Is that just me? Like I've never ever all my credit cards are set up for automatic payment. I've never paid an interest rate. So is that something that is actually monitored closely? Because to me, I've only ever looked at the reward side, and I'm curious how the average or other consumers, depending on where they are, um, look at that. SoFi versus new, who wins? Brian, I just put out a video today. If I could get, wait, where is it? Give me one quick second. I just put out a video today talking about new versus SoFi. Sorry, bear with me. Just bringing something up on the screen. Okay. There it is. Okay, I just sent it. Okay, I just put out a video today. SoFi versus Cash App versus Nubank. Okay, I just put this out a couple hours ago, I think. Yeah, 3 hours ago. I did a whole presentation talking about it. Oops. And you guys can go check that out. And that way you'll get, sort of a better understanding for how I look at these different companies. I have more money in SoFi than I do Nubank, but I'm buying Nubank right now and I'm not buying SoFi. Okay. Yeah. I cannot believe how good Nubank's business is. And that's what you're going to get from that video. That they are the most efficient bank I think I've ever reviewed ever in history. I think that's true. It's scary. It's scary how good they are. Like just to put it in perspective, they just launched their deposit accounts in Mexico. And in the first month, they gained 1 million new checking and savings. They're technically not a checking and savings product, but it essentially is. It's a deposit account, okay? They gained 1 million new customers in their deposit account in Mexico in a single month. And they said the difference between the first 2 weeks and the second 2 weeks was a difference in deposits of 30%. Okay. Or per person was up 30%, not 30% overall. Like the growth rates are being managed on a bi-weekly basis because the growth is that high. To put it even more perspective, although they're growing this fast, they're actually cutting staff because their technology is getting so efficient that they can actually get multiple people an individual to manage multiple client products rather than just breaking them down into groups of singular, or business models like the way SoFi does it, for example. So SoFi will have a credit card team and a personal loans team and a student loan team and a home loan team. And so Nubank has completely redone the whole model. That's the way they used to do it. But now they're just realizing that they're a holistic, financial services company, and that a single person should be able to manage and innovate products across the board. Very, very cool. You're able to save on operating costs. Like, just think about a company, guys. Just think about a company that has come out with a Nubank credit card, their first product, and their cost to actually serve that product was about 80 to 90 cents. Okay. Now, per client, you can have a credit card, a Nubank checking and savings account. You can have a business account. You can have personal loans. You can have insurance policies, whether that's all different types of cyber accounts and everything, or cyber insurance and all these different policies, life insurance. And then, what's it called? They also have a bunch of different loans too, like going through, they just put out this new personal loan that tracks, or gives you a rate based on collateral, based on your investments that you have in your account. So you take all that in and then ask again, what's the cost to serve per client now? And it's still at 80 to 90 cents. It did not go up at all. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? But yet the average revenue per user per client went from like $8 to $22. A spoiler alert on the video, which I hope all you guys are leaving right now to go watch that video. This is just a little spoiler alert. So I go over customer acquisition costs for all of the 3 different banks, their average revenue per user for all the 3 different banks, a bunch of very weird metrics like you know, CAC to ARPU of efficacy, which I explain in that video very well. So don't worry. But that being said, the actual average revenue per user on Nubank's side, although tracking only total accounts versus Cash App tracking active accounts, is actually higher at Nubank in Latin America. In what people are considering a non-affluent market, they're taking more money per client in full revenue with lower cost to serve, with half the cost to acquire than Cash App. And that is the blitzkrieg company that we have here in America. Nubank is like, I'm getting heated, but like, this is a company on a new level. It's like nothing I've ever seen. It's the most exciting company. But that being said, go watch the video, but it is also quite expensive as well. So, yeah. Credit card tiers would be super dope. I'm assuming you're talking about SoFi, and yeah, SoFi should have some sort of black card soon, or travel card, or maybe some sponsors with different companies, maybe like SiriusXM or LinkedIn or something like that. I heard different rumors like that, which was really exciting. If this means for Nubank, I mean, Nubank has a Nubank, what do you call it? Black card as well. It's seeing a lot of traction. Let me see what else you guys are saying. You never need to look at APRs on credit cards if you just treat them like debit cards. I 100% agree, Chase. I've never actually looked at that once. Up 119% year to date. Hard to buy Nubank at this point. When you look at it that way, sure. Whenever you look at it in the way that you're still getting the stock at about a 20 to 25% discount to what Warren Buffett bought it at 2 years ago, it starts to register back in my head that this stock is still at a large discount. I'm going to keep buying it till it hits $11. I think my fair value for the company, or at least what I'm willing to buy it under, is $11 a share. And that is knowing that I could be paying for perfection from this company, but I also do believe that perfect growth is here to come. Like they're just starting to expand with personal loans, stuff like that. I think we're going to see massive growth in their deposits. We're going to see massive growth in terms of their personal loan deployments and all the cards that we're going to see, or all the new accounts that we're going to see for Mexico. It's really going to put into perspective next quarter how fast they can grow into a new geography. Yeah. Intrinsic value is good up to $11. Yeah, that's what I think. Tanner, what percentage of your portfolio do you aim for SoFi or Nubank? What do you mean? Like if they grow a ton and they get too big in my portfolio? Is that what you mean? I find it hard for anything in my portfolio to like past 15 to 20%. That rarely really happens. I keep a pretty diversified group of a lot of companies. I've gotten made fun of saying that Tanner has his own ETF, which I mean to some extent is kind of true. Not for sale, just for my own portfolio. But I like companies, and I like the flexibility of being able to buy and sell those companies at different dips whenever they come, and I feel like I have the time on my hands to review all of them. So guys, for a person that does a daily stream after their full-time job, okay, and then does like Friday night like a live stream and stuff like this is what I do. Like, this is what I do for fun. So yeah. When Tanner's a millionaire, he will sell. Whenever I'm a millionaire, no. I like in a single position. I mean, it would have to make sense. But I honestly think I'm going to be Okay, so I used to be a big video game player. This is what I really have loved about stocks as well, is that this is like a game that I'll play for the rest of my life. And I can always keep leveling up and I can always keep advancing in this game, and there'll always be new players, and this game never goes out of season, and it'll be around when I'm 85. And so I can just keep leveling my babies. That is awesome. That's an awesome feeling. So no, I don't like, I think very much like Carlos of Vitali. I think if a certain purchase comes up where I need to sell something out of my portfolio, I haven't need to do that. I took a little bit out of my portfolio to actually, put a down payment on this house, which was the house's money. Like that's an exciting feeling. I keep thinking about that. Like I put a down payment on this house with my girlfriend. So there's two people going in on this house. It's an $850,000 house, and I think we put it was like 20% down or whatever, because we have CMHC here. So we wanted to avoid that. And anyway. And I know that some people are going to say you're going to want to keep it at 5%, but the reason why we got a good rate was because the financial, anyway, I deal with the financial institution that I'm dealing with wanted it a certain way. So we did that anyway. Down payment with a girlfriend. I've been with this girl for 5 years. I don't know. This is my partner. I just haven't proposed. But yeah, no, we'll be around for a while. But yeah, Doug, I mean, hey, you're right. Anything can happen, and not a millionaire right now. Not a millionaire. Anything can happen, but I just want, I don't think it's that big of a problem. If something goes wrong, we take our halves, we go, yeah. But I forget what we were even talking about, guys. Let's stay back on track. Let's talk more stocks. Tanner, aren't you concerned about Nubank's market cap? If you're looking for a 5x, that means the market cap has to be 175 billion, where SoFi can 10x, and it would still be half of that of Nubank's 5x. So in terms of valuation, I find that this is important. In terms of growth rate, I don't find that this is important at all. If Nubank is growing faster than SoFi, then it doesn't matter to me. If they're both valued at an intrinsic value, then I don't care about the market cap. Nubank's market cap will go to 175 billion if that's the case. I don't believe that companies can't get large for the sake of them already being large. There's 200 billion plus market cap banks. Nubank will be one of them, I believe, in the future as well. I do actually think if what's happening with David Velez, some sort of black swan event doesn't happen, and they are able to capitalize on international markets and get into more of Latin America and these sorts of things, this will be one of the biggest banks in the entire world, and it won't be long before it gets there. I do think that they'll probably be like a top 5 bank. I don't want to be drastic. I think that they'll be the largest bank in Latin America in like a few years. They're just growing so unbelievably fast. It's crazy. Put a ring on it. Why? That's my exact situation. I play games. I played mobile games, quit playing mobile games because they were all about microtransactions. Yeah. 2 months ago, I started doing stocks. Yeah. And the truth is that you just have to play the long game. Like I'm playing for end game, right? You're not playing for this to be a single season. It's a whole, you're playing a whole career here. So just play a very long game. Millionaire in Canadian, not USD. Yeah. Once you convert it to USD, I start looking real poor. No, the conversion is not terrible. I remember when it was 1-to-1, however, at one point, that was a different story. I've never played any sort of currency hedge or anything like that, though, which is Something I probably need to learn, but that's a confusing world. JP Morgan will still be king. I think a lot of people think that. I don't think that they will be in terms of and I mean JP Morgan for sure will be, last man standing, I believe, in terms of large legacy banks, and I don't think any of them will close down, just so people are aware. I don't think the Wells Fargos or the Citigroups or any of these will see bankruptcy, any of the top four at least. Okay. That being said, I do think that multiples on these banks do not need to be anywhere near the multiples that are put on a Cash App or a new bank, for example. And multiples can really, really change the way people's perception of market cap really works. Remember when Tesla was worth more than all of the other automakers all put together while making like 1/100th of the amount of vehicle volume total? That's what I'm talking about. The growth rates at Nubank is insane. Their monetization is insane. The cult is insane. I saw the trends for people looking up the Game of Life Nubank edition. Okay, the Game of Life Nubank edition. Imagine a board game that's branded off of a bank, and people are going out of their way to buy it. You have to fathom that level of brand. Okay, this is like, people are excited about Nubank. No one is excited about JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citi, or Wells Fargo. No one except for Warren Buffett. And it doesn't mean that they can't be extremely profitable companies. But I'm going to bet on what I think is the future of the brands. But it's the same thing as like Philip Morris or something. Like, can Philip Morris still make a juicy profit? Sure. But they have a lot of headwinds, and I don't want to bet on a company's survivability. I want to bet on a company's thrivability. And JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citigroup, and Wells Fargo, I do not see having a lot of thrivability in everything that I'm reading. Whenever instant payments come out, who does it benefit? Fintechs or large banks? Ask me that question. And I guarantee you it's fintechs. It does not benefit the large banks at all. They're going to have to keep way more cash on hand. It's going to lower their profit margins. There's your first tick. Where are the clients moving from each and every year? Are they going into mega banks or are they leaving? They're leaving. Where are they going? Fintechs. Okay, another check. Okay. Where does a lot of this tech spend actually lead to better products, and then people can actually further monetize those clients higher than traditional banks? Fintechs. You know what I mean? There will be ways to monetize clients in banking that were never ever done. Like third-party advertising firms like Trade Desk coming onto Nubank's platform and monetizing through ads. Like, who knows how the future of banking will be? It won't be at the big players that are still getting caught for $250 million fines for multiple transactions, stuff like this. Each and every bad taste that you get in that bank is going to lead to more and more people leaving. And even if they don't, even if Bank of America wakes up tomorrow with the same amount of clients that they have today, they still have $250 million less that they now have to fill in with more return on equity, where I think that return on equity would be better accumulated in safer companies like Nubank, SoFi, and the likes of these companies that are continuing to grow while also monetizing. You can tell me a bunch of banking experts disagree with me, and I think that they are in a dying industry. And I don't think banking is dying. Like it's still going to be growing, but consumers are moving one way, and a business has to thrive off their customers. So there will be a lot of corporations and stuff like this, and commercial banking, and a lot of things where people think that JP Morgan has a tight niche right now. But Chris Hager said it so well. The profits and disruptions that SoFi makes on the retail side, they can then take those profits and then start to disrupt on the commercial side. And then by that time, it's another peg out from underneath JP Morgan, Citi, Wells Fargo, and everything like this. And people can say lobbying and all this stuff, but SoFi is a digital bank just like the rest of them, and there's not going to be anything that you could pin on them, I believe. Maybe you can find something with Cash App and PayPal and these sorts of things, but yeah. Just came here to say hello. People are late. People are late, Kelly. You're late. I even covered Shopify now being able... Kelly, people are going to be able to buy your products directly off of Roku TVs. How exciting. How exciting. Think of JP Morgan like paying with checks versus Venmo or PayPal. Most people don't even take checks now, right? They have adopted to Venmo and PayPal or other electronic avenues. SoFi is modern. Well, I agree that like even the baby boomers are switching over to SoFi at mass rates, right? The future of the new people that are being born today probably won't even touch a physical card. The people that are being born today will have all virtual cards and everything like this. And sure, there is a business in which JP Morgan can get into that. Like Marqeta, for example, the FitBank brand that they just partnered with in Brazil is also partnered with JPM. So JPM is like, I believe that they're going to survive, but you can't have a flight of deposits the way they are and continue to survive. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. There'll be better competitors, and in not just in consumer and retail banking, but in all sectors. And I don't believe they're innovating in any of them. They're doing a good job, but they'll all slowly be going away. The day I get a sale from my Roku TV, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you see sales from, well, it also depends on where you're advertising, but do you see sales from YouTube Shorts or YouTube, well, I guess no, actually, but depending on if you advertised on those or if you actually, let's do a Shopify podcast and you can promote, well, I don't know if you want to promote your channels, but let's do one singular Shopify podcast, you and I, and I'll break down my thesis for the company. I don't get Roku either. It doesn't make any sense. I don't like that business. I don't even believe in TVs. I barely use mine. Yeah, for investment, Doug. That's what I mean as well. What are your thoughts on Go Easy? I like the company. I hold the company. I'm a fan. But it's very risky investing. Hey, Tanner. I got a buddy that continues to buy Ally. I keep telling him SoFi is way better buy. Would you agree? In respect to current prices, I don't follow Ally enough, but even then, I do believe that it's a fintech. I'm betting on fintech versus traditional. So I'm not anti them. I do believe in the companies like Lending Club and like Ally that are doing fintech, but through a lens of traditional banking, where they do focus on the traditional means like return on equity and return on assets. So I wouldn't actually know. It's just not one that I look into. I'm a big like I'm treating these like tech companies. I'm looking at them from a customer centric focus, and the banking people are not, and that's why they think that I'm wrong, and I think they're wrong because I think that that's, every company in some way or form should be valued similarly, where revenue, cost of revenue, gross profits, operating expenses, net income, capex, free cash flow. It's a business. So yeah, I'm just looking at it in the way that they're bringing in customers, bringing in deposits, taking on transactions, global expansion, total addressable market, good management. That's how I look at it. I don't look at Pagaya close enough to know anything really about them other than the fact that they treat SoFi very well and they have a business model very similarly to Upstart, but I follow Upstart much closer. Lemonade. I love Lemonade, man. If you're talking about the company, I don't follow them close enough. I just think that their profitability is too far out for me. Like I'm a growth investor, but that's like, you need to be a growth investor. Like, very far away. From what I heard, they're doing great. Customer acquisition cost seems to be an extreme problem. But yeah. Yeah, it's quite cool looking at the difference. And guys, go check out, I'm going to post it again. I'm going to post it. I put a YouTube link in the comments. Go click it now. Go watch that now. Leave. Okay. I compare Nubank to SoFi and Cash App and how they actually acquire customers, how they monetize them. Lots of statistical data there. I visualize it all on charts. It's very interesting. So what I wanted to say about that as well is that I believe that the companies that are able to acquire customers cheap while also improving on average revenue per user, Nubank, will be the future companies, and they deserve to be. Yeah. Lemonade, maybe one day. And I'm not anti-Lemonade. It might be a great investment. I just have not done enough. I have not done enough research because some of those things haven't stood out to me quite yet. And so, yeah. It is very interesting. Are you meaning Lemonade? Where do you see SoFi stock price in 2030? I put out, I think it's my most popular video that I've ever put out. Why do I have more views now than I did whenever I told you guys all to leave? I put a thing in the comments saying, go watch this video, and I have more views now. But my most popular video on my channel is literally a price target assumption for SoFi in 2030. So you can go check that out. It shows the compounded annual growth rates, the market cap, and why I projected it out to be that far. Extremely positive on SoFi, extremely positive on Fintech. So far, year to date, this portfolio is doing so much better than the S&P 500, and I don't see that changing. There's great things happening, but I need to do more DD on a firm, so that's probably what I'll do for the rest of the night. I'm gonna go hit a sauna and try working out. I need to get back into it. I was thinking just more on my own personal life, so if that doesn't bore you, let me post that link in the chat again, then you guys can really go leave. But I'm thinking about my personal health has gone down a little bit, and so just in terms of working out, I don't think I'm not dying, but all my goals have been set on my own personal side. Yeah, I have a sauna at home. They're really not expensive at all. I bought mine for $1,000. You can get them brand new for $4,000. It's they're extremely cheap. But I'm thinking about posting some review pics online of maybe monthly updates on my fitness to kind of, I used to be in great shape, okay, years ago. And now I'm in I sit at home and and analyze stocks all day shape. And that's not, I mean, it's appropriate, but it's not where I want to be. And part of that's maybe because I'm also happy. I've been in a long-term relationship and these sorts of things. So that can also be a hard driver whenever you don't have those sort of motivations. But I do need to get in better shape. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Thanks, Kelly. Appreciate it. I used to be in much better shape than I was today, though. So I was Superman before. Now I'm just Clark, maybe. That's so funny. I had a cheap 150 sauna I sit in at night for 45 to 60 minutes while playing a PS5. Then I take an ice cold shower. 45 to 60 minutes. Okay, wait. How hot is your sauna, man? I looked it up, and no matter what the temperature was that they told me to put this sauna to, they said 15 to 20 minutes is I looked up, what do professional athletes do? And they said 170 degrees Fahrenheit to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, which is literally there's food that cooks at that level. But okay, do that for 15 to 20 minutes. I do mine at 150 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 minutes, and I feel like death afterwards. It feels terrible. But I found out the reason why I actually like it is the only place where I literally have to focus on being alive in there. And so I'm not thinking about anything else. That's why I think I like it so much. I do it daily. And I think the reason why is that like it is meditation at this point, 125. Okay. Former Mr. National Illinois. Now, is that a infrared sauna? Because you might also be infrared. I do like over the stones, water over the stones. What's the brand? I don't remember the exact brand. It's a little radiator thing with stones in the corner, quite large. Got it from Home Depot. Or I think they got it. I got it as, I bought it from a family member, but I think they got it from Home Depot is what I asked. Because I wanted to get, like, whenever I go to the new place, I'm not gonna pack up a sauna. So I was just gonna buy a new one. It was like $4,000 from Home Depot. Would you cover more Open Door like you would SoFi, Tanner? Yeah, I've been speaking with Tyler Oakland a lot, so he's probably going to come on the channel, but he recently just moved and completely uplifted his whole life, so it might be like a week or two before he's on the channel. But yeah, I'm going to have Tyler hopefully soon, and then hopefully I can get a lot better DD for Open Door that way. No, I don't like the infrared saunas. I've used them before. Someone I know has one. They're just not that fun. And I find them much smaller too. They have to be really small. I don't like them. I think I missed your message earlier. Would I be concerned if JP Morgan acquired SoFi? No. Because they'd be buying it at a higher price point than what I acquired. Like that is always a possibility. JP Morgan acquiring SoFi is that possibility where I just, I make my multiple and then I go find a better investment. Like, it wouldn't be the best opportunity, but I have no way of stopping it. So you just have that's it's not even a roll with the punches. It's like roll with the flowers and chocolates and a good date. And then, a happy ending, a happy ending in the way that you make a lot of money. Nothing past that, nothing bad. Like it just, anyway, I'm not going to explain that any further. Just a bad choice of words. Yeah. Okay. So if they acquire them, they acquire them. I get my money back at a higher multiple. Maybe they buy SoFi at 3x from here. I'm happy. Like I will have made a large amount of money. Maybe not a 3x from here. Maybe they acquire the company for $20, $25 a share. Good. Could we have gotten more if we held it longer for a longer period of time? Sure. Can I get more if I take that money today at $20, $25 a share and then go buy, I don't know what another, like Nubank, and then that company gets acquired by a JP, and then I go and take that money and go buy something. It's never bad if someone buys your company at a large multiple right now, right? And I don't think that Doug, nah, man. Sorry, Tanner, when did you post that 2030 price target? I don't know when it was. You can sort my videos by most popular and it'll be my 2030 price target. See, the funny thing about 2030 price targets is that my 2030 price target back in 2021 or 2022 is my same price target from till 2030. I'm still on that trajectory. So I don't believe, like, by 2025, if my 2030 price target is accurate, I'm not going to rewrite it. That's why, unless my thesis changed, but my thesis so far has been completely on track. SoFi's been doing great. So yeah, I wouldn't rewrite my 2030 price target. Thanks, Benjamin, for all the support. There should be some new member content coming out soon as well. I've got all good, Doug. I know it now. Being around Amit too much, we all get a little bit of that dry, just terrible humor that he has. It's not even dry, but just like witty dad humor. Anyway, so just going back to it, I do have conversations all throughout this next week. It's crazy. Like once I pass 10,000 subscribers, the doors that opened up for people that like, I was reaching out to people and it was just like, no. Like, it's so funny. I've said this before on the channel. The amount of people that reach out to me and ask me to come on the show is like zilch, zero, none. No one wants to talk. Okay. And maybe that's because people don't like me, but I honestly just think that creators just don't like, how could you, I think we as a community are the largest SoFi community on YouTube, especially through YouTube. I think, potentially me or StockGoat or Fintech or some of these people might have the largest SoFi, and especially me, I have a pretty SoFi concentrated channel. Not as much as StockGoat, because I think he's mainly doing that, and I've been branching out into more fintech, but still, for that to be such an amazing stock going up 100% in a single month, you would think that someone would want to know, hey, what does this company do? Right? But instead they don't. They do their own research, and then you get these videos where they come out and they're just so inaccurate with their information, which is fine. For me, I want to do more of the emit approach, where I try to learn a new company. I'll reach out to the experts. Come on, let's talk. And the people that I've been reaching out to lately have just been, it's been yes, ever since I passed 10,000. So there'll be a lot more exciting people that are going to be coming on, a lot of cool creators. I don't know if I should say the names. I never understood why people didn't, but yeah, some much bigger names than what we're used to seeing, which is more just because I want to have more intellectual conversations. I had some conversations recently, not going to say any names, but some people were a little bit bothered by their analysis and didn't think that it was very thought out, and that's fine. But yeah, so I want to get some people that obviously have done a lot more research. Their careers depend on it. This is what they do full time. So yeah. And then we also get, insight into how these people also build out their portfolios and what they think about fintech. And from what I know, this might be a little theme of the channel, is that a lot of these people don't know what Nubank is, and I'm going to start pitching it. So if you guys don't know, I met with Fintech, Curran from Fintech, Curran. Which he had like 42,000 subscribers or whatever. Amazing dude. We had an amazing conversation. And then in the members only chat, we spoke about, Datadog and all these different companies, and then I pitched him on Nubank. And then the next video he posted was that, in the first company of the stocks to buy was Nubank. And the truth is that this company is amazing and no one knows about it. And I'm going to spread that word, my babies. I think that'll be like a little fascination for me, is just spreading the word of Nubank and pitching it to a bunch of investors, because I think it's cool. And also, I reached out to Alex from Ticker Symbol U. If you guys have him on Twitter or something, reach out, add him, tell him I want to talk to him. I want to have a conversation with him and pitch him on SoFi, because he just recently said he wants to learn more. Might as well talk to a person that's been spending every single day talking about it, eh? I love Alex. I've been following his channel for a really long time, and it's where I get, the majority of, my NVIDIA news and stuff like this, because it's a big portfolio or a big position for me, that I always don't have as much time as you guys would think to research my own positions, because I'm doing stuff like this to give more information to you guys. Amit used to have a podcast with Alex. Oh, cool. Your video explained how Nubank's CAC is very low. I know. Customer acquisition cost. Yeah. Kelly 5'7". I think that's Amit's height, right? You guys are all 5'7", little shorties. Yeah. And then I take a picture with Tevis and Riley, and I'm like, Tevis and Riley, and I'm the shortest one there because they're both like 6'2". Anyway, I'll see you guys all later. That's it. I'm going to post it one last time in the chat. I am leaving. Go watch this video. It's the video I just put out that breaks down SoFi, Nubank, and Cash App's different business models and growth styles. I'm gone. Thank you so much. Kelly, I'm 5'11". Bye for now.